morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. It's Sunday morning, sun's shining, and I've got a few things I need to get done in the garden. So I'm going to take you along with me, kind of vlog style, I guess, and show you what's happening, what I need to get done. It may spill into tomorrow because I do need to net some fruit trees, and not sure if I'm going to get the time to get all that done today, but I can show you my plans and then maybe that might happen tomorrow. But let's have a little bit of an update first with the garden. I've had a little bit of a disaster, and I want to share this because, you know, things don't always go right in the garden, no matter how much experience you might have. I planted my tomato seedlings out on Tuesday, so usually the first week of November is when I do that. I do know that there's still a slight risk of frost, um, and generally I just check the weather and I will cover them over if we do have a prediction of frost. Unfortunately, on Friday morning, I should say, no, Friday night, which was sort of probably Saturday morning, we did have a very light frost and I did not cover my tomatoes over. And that was just because we had a very stressful couple of days, had one of our dogs at the vet's. She was quite unwell. She has epilepsy and had multiple seizures. And yeah, we had to end up leaving her at the vet's. We'd had sleepless nights, and yeah, and then I had to travel to go to some medical appointments on Friday as well. So just really hectic couple of days. And you know what, that's life. And sometimes then the garden gets forgotten about, and that's what happened. And so I got up yesterday morning and realized that it was quite cold. And some of my tomatoes and even my flowers and my zucchini are not doing very well. In fact, yeah, some of them are definitely dead. Um, anyway, that happens. It's life, and sometimes we have failures and things that don't work out. Our dog is okay, by the way. She's recovered. We are keeping a close eye on her and trying to keep her quiet for the next few days, but she's been seizure free for about 1.5 days now, so that's a good thing. So let me show you what's going on in the garden with my tomatoes. I'm going to count and see how many I've actually got left, and try to think of a plan. I may end up having to buy some seedlings, which is fine. You know, that happens. It's too late to sow any more tomato seeds now. And I may have to go to the store and buy some seedlings. So here I've got 3 tomatoes, and one is okay. So this one actually some kind of fly or beetle, or I don't know what that is. Looks like a fly of some sort stuck in there. But this one has survived and it's looking fine, so that's going to be okay. This one, you can see, have a look at the leaves. I don't think that's going to survive. And look, it was flowering as well. It had a little flower. I don't think that's going to survive. I think too many of the leaves have been affected. And this one over here is the same. You can see the whole, they're not very big seedlings, and now I'm actually wishing I had waited until they were a bit bigger before I put them in the garden anyway. Then I would have missed that frost. But anyway, that happens. That happens. Over here, I've put bean seeds in through here. They haven't come up yet, which is probably a good thing because they would not have liked the frost. And then in this section here, I've put in some bush beans, so they don't need to grow up a trellis. This tomato plant is looking okay. That's fine. And you'll see that I've got some jars here, jars and some plant pots that I have been, last night I put onto the surviving tomatoes. There was no frost, but it was quite cool last night, so I thought I probably should protect them. So I'll leave these out in case I need them over the next few nights or so, and I'll just come and cover them over. This one's only really quite small, but has survived and looks perfectly fine. This one, not. That's dead. So it's very random. I've got, that one survived, that one's dead, that one survived, that one's dead. This one's probably dead. Yeah. It also had some flowers on it. Oh, that flower's just come off. Don't think that's going to survive. That one has survived. That one's dead. That one is okay. Yep, that survived. And that has survived. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over there, and I don't think any of the ones in that bed over there survive. So got 6. 6 out of, how many did I have all? I've just done a count, just counted them up, and I planted 13. I did have some more to come out, but they weren't quite ready yet. 13, and we've had 6 survive, so we've lost about half. It could have been worse. It may have been all of them, but I think I've got 6 that are going to survive, which means I've got another 6 or 7 that are going to need replacing. So I might go and just have a look in my greenhouse, because I did have some other tomato seeds that I planted a bit later and they did not get planted out. So they might be the ones that come and replace this. Also, I'll just show you my zucchini. So normally with zucchini, I plant, I do 2 plants. Generally 1 is enough, it's plenty, because they just produce so much zucchinis and we just can't eat that many. My family gets sick of me putting zucchini in everything. So I plant 2 in case 1 doesn't survive or something happens. And then the other one, I'll at least have 1. Last year I ended up with 2 that survived and we had plenty of zucchinis. This year one of them didn't germinate, so I actually only had 1 plant and that is now dead. So I'll show you that one. So that's my zucchini. It's definitely dead. It's very much affected by the frost. That is going to need to be replaced. I did also put in some cucumber seeds in there and also in this garden bed here. Thankfully they haven't germinated yet, because they would have been affected by the frost, although they might have been a bit more protected up in these garden beds where they're sort of a little bit lower down and got some metal around them, but they haven't germinated yet, and I'm actually quite glad. Anyway, I'll take you into the greenhouse and we'll just have a look at the tomatoes that I haven't planted out in the garden yet. But I also want to show you the tomatoes growing in the greenhouse, because thankfully for this greenhouse, even if everything else died, I've still got my tomatoes in there, and I'll show you how well they're growing. All right, so come on into the greenhouse. Oh, it's quite warm in here. We've got a lot of weeds. We still haven't done anything about the bottom, like the ground in the greenhouse, and you can see there's a lot of pots blown around. We had the windows open the other day and it was quite windy and everything's. But have a look at this. This is, I don't know if you can see, 1, 2, 3 tomatoes. In fact, I need to tie them back up, but they are growing so well. I have flowers on here, flowers on there, more flowers. So they're all flowering, which is fantastic. And over here, I just wanted to show these two, I think, are cherry tomatoes. And the other day I was looking and they're actually, yeah, have a look at this. There are some cherry tomatoes. So these are Christmas grapes. That's what the variety is. So they grow on a truss and you get a whole, like a bunch of little cherry tomatoes all in a bunch. So that is exciting. Actually got, I don't know if you can see it. There's a butterfly. Oh, it's actually just a butterfly wing. I thought there was a butterfly in there, but it's a butterfly wing. I don't know if you can see it. Nope. Oh, there it is. I thought it was a butterfly. It's a butterfly wing. More flowers up here, so we'll get more. And then this plant also has plenty of flowers, so these probably need a little bit of staking and a bit of trimming. But despite the fact that I've had a bit of a disaster out in the garden, this makes me happy to know that I can come into the greenhouse and have these beautiful tomatoes that have grown so much and are producing already. So we may actually get tomatoes by Christmas on that plant. And that was the whole plan. I tried that last year and it didn't work. But because the reason this plant is called Christmas grapes is because it produces fruit early, and you should get tomatoes, cherry tomatoes by Christmas. I didn't get any last year, but I am actually hopeful because it's still early November, and I have little tomatoes on there. So actually, there's some more on here too. I just realised. Have a look at that. There's some more on there as well. So I think we may actually get some by Christmas. Have a look at my capsicums. They're growing really, really well. In fact, that may even start to flower soon. So I've got five, can't count, 5 along there, another one in there. This is some celery left over that I will need to pull out, but I'll sort of try and harvest some of that celery and then pull that plant out to give this a little bit more room. But that is, the greenhouse is looking good. Thank God. So these are the tomatoes that weren't ready to go in the garden. Unfortunately, I did have them outside and didn't bring them in. So yeah, this one is affected by frost. That's no good. That one is also no good. But I think these others may actually, sorry, there's a plane going overhead. I don't know if you can hear that. It's a bit noisy. I'll just wait for that. Actually, it's a helicopter going overhead. So these are okay. These larger ones here have been affected by the frost, and this one over the back here. But I think these are going to be all right. So I'm just going to let them get a bit bigger, and they may go out and replace the ones that I lost. I did also I've got another couple here that I haven't planted. That's a tomato that I haven't planted, so they can go out and replace the ones out there as well. So I think I might be okay in the end. I might end up having enough tomatoes to replace what I've lost. Otherwise, I'll go and buy a few seedlings. These are my watermelon, and I had left these outside too because I was hoping to harden them off and acclimatise them to plant them out. Now, I think they'll be salvageable because some of the leaves have been affected, but they might be okay. I'll probably put them in the ground and just see what happens anyway. First things first, I'm going to water my garden. Sun's coming out now and it's going to dry up today, so I need to get out and give everything a good water. So that's what I'm going to do now before I get in and sow some more zucchini seeds. I also forgot to say this is my flower flower garden in through here, and unfortunately a number of my zinnias have not fared well. So you can see that that's dead. That's probably dead. That may survive, possibly, and I don't know how that one's going to go either. But zinnias are frost sensitive, and these unfortunately did not fare well in that frost. But other plants are doing fine. I've got the borage there and over there. I've got some weeds I need to get rid of. Are doing well. This is chamomile. That's fine. So they're obviously not as affected. More chamomile here. They're not as affected by frost, but you can see here the zinnias. The zinnias have been. Have a look at this one though. This one's perfectly fine, and the one next to it is not. I don't know how that works. And again, I've got a few here that looks like the top of the leaves have been affected, but the bottom of the plant looks okay. So they may survive. And I've got others further along that are looking fine. So it is really, really random. I can't remember what these flowers were, but these flowers here, they're doing fine. They obviously are not frost sensitive. And over this side, I think it's a bit more protected here. Although no, that one has been affected. So the zinnias do not like frost. But most of my other flowers, if you're wondering what all these other ones are in between, they're all calendula. They self-seed. You can see there's hundreds through there. I do need to pull some of those up. I'll let some of them grow, but I don't want them to crowd out the flowers that I am trying to grow. So yeah, there's been calendula here, so they have self-seeded and they just come up absolutely everywhere, just like these. These are all self-seed. I did not grow or sow any of these. They're all just doing their thing, and I'm going to let them do their thing. They actually look quite pretty. I just wanted to talk about this parsley that has gone to seed. You can see it's all flowering, so it's definitely done. Now you can be tempted to go and pull that out, and at some point I will definitely pull it out and make room for some other things to grow. But I just want to show you what it's attracting, and why I don't particularly want to pull it out just yet. So there are some native bees, and I'm not sure if you can see them. The big bees are the honeybees, and the smaller bees that hover are native bees. And native bees are stingless, which I'm quite happy about because I've had a few stings from our bees recently. But there are still quite a few honeybees there. And I just wanted to show you, have a look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but there are ladybugs, heaps of them on, oh wow, I don't know if I can get in close enough, but I will try. But there are in here, there are honeybees, there are native bees, and ladybugs all on the one flower. But this is full of ladybugs, and this is why it is good, if you've got the room and you're able to actually let some of your plants go to seed so that it attracts all of these insects. So it's full of bees, full of ladybugs, which we want in our garden. So I'm certainly not going to pull that out. I think I'm going to leave that to them and allow them to enjoy it. While I'm out and about, haven't even finished watering yet, but I've been sidetracked by the animals. So we're going to, hello chickens. So this black hen here, I think is the mum of the others. So she's pretty old. Hazel. Okay, we're gonna go and feed the ducks because here they are. Hello duckies. Oh, I just dropped food as I was walking. Whoopsies. Alright, let's go and feed these ducks. And once again, dog likes to bark at them. Alright, come on ducks. Come on, down this way. Down this way. Come on. We've done a bit of a clean-up of the branches. We've still got some over there and this one here. Oh goodness. Come on ducks, I'll just feed them first before I talk. Oh, they need water as well. I'll go and get them some water. Just for fire season, we're going into fire season. We try to pick up all of the branches that we had a whole heap there that had fallen down when we had a lot of wind. And we still actually have more over under those trees to do, but we've cleared up quite a bit. There's still some here. We need to pick all of those up and get rid of them. Anything that is hanging around on the ground is just fuel for fire. So it's important that we clean that up as we go into the fire season. So I've got my zucchini seeds and a seedling container, and I'm going to just make sure, I think I might just do all 6 cells. I will give some, if they all survive, I will give some to a friend who hasn't had time to get anything in her garden, and I said that if I had anything left I would bring some over to her house and plant them in her garden. Now the only thing is, I think I only have potting mix, not seed raising mix, which doesn't really matter for zucchini seeds because they're pretty large seeds, so they'll be fine. They don't really need the very fine soil like the seed raising mix. So I'm going to just use some of this potting mix and fill these cells, and we'll plant our seeds. And hopefully it's very warm here in the greenhouse. In fact, I'm kind of cooking a little bit, so they should get a really good start in here. And hopefully by the end of the month I will have them out in the garden, which is fun because really the warmth doesn't really set in until December anyway, so I don't think it's not gonna matter too much if they go in late. We'll still get plenty of zucchinis. Probably the only thing that, like, we've had a late frost, but like I said, we do expect that. We live inland and it can get much colder, and we can still get frosts in November. So it's not unusual. It's just that normally I need to be on my ball and I was not. I guess the thing that I am a little concerned about this summer is water. It's been really dry. We have not had our normal rainfall over winter and spring. We have a seasonal creek and that has only flowed for a short period of time. Normally it'll start flowing probably around towards the end of June into July. It will start flowing, and it didn't flow until towards the end of August, and it dried up. I would say about a week or so ago it dried up. So it did not last long. We have not had much rain. It's really dry. The garden's really dry. I need to keep the water up. And my concern is over summer, we don't get a lot of rain over summer. It'll just be hot and generally not wet. And yeah, I don't even know how our tank storage is going, to be honest. And whether we're going to run out of water. I will use dam water for the garden if I need to. We have a trailer with a water tank on the back and a pump. We kind of use that to water the fruit trees, and we also use that for fire if we need it for like a firefighting unit. If a fire were to come through, obviously it's not going to fight a fire, but it will help to wet things down, and after the fire's gone through, if it does, to sort of put out embers and things like that. I don't know, we may end up using dam water to water the garden this year. It's just, unless something weird is going to happen this summer and we're going to end up with rain. We've had the last probably 2 years have been fairly wet over spring and summer, much more wet than normal because we had a La Nina event, which means more rainfall. El Nino is the opposite, where you tend to get a drought. But I think the La Nina is over with. I think, who knows? You've just got to deal with whatever comes and hope for the best. Anyway, I've now got these seeds sown. I'm going to give them a quick water, set them here in the greenhouse. I've just been editing that video, that vlog, and realised that I didn't end it. I was planning on continuing on the next day when we did the fruit trees, but realised that there's a fair bit of footage for that. I might make that a separate video. So I have left that here, and I think that'll be the end of this vlog, and you can wait until the next video for the rest of what I did the following day. So thank you so much for watching, and if you like this sort of content and you're interested in seeing what happens here on the homestead, press subscribe, free to subscribe, and you'll get notifications of any new videos that come up. So thank you so much if you've made it this far, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you. Bye.